was soft beneath my feet. Morning light through the doorway, life felt quiet, complete. I had a place beside him, a name that felt like home. His voice would fill the silence, I was never alone. Naomi laughed in the evenings, stories by the fire. Even in foreign soil, we built a small desire. Simple days held meaning in water, bread, and rest. Nothing felt uncertain, nothing felt like a test. He would reach for my hand like tomorrow was secure, like time would always give us more than we asked for. I believed in the future, like something I could see, not something fragile breaking, not something leaving me. Moab held my memories wrapped in familiar sound. Every corner carried a life where I was found. But sometimes in the stillness, when night would stretch too long, there was a quiet question, like something felt off. Naomi stared in silence, like her past still spoke. A shadow crossed her eyes, like something inside broke. I didn't understand it, I didn't ask her why. I thought what we were living would never say goodbye. Heaven felt so distant, but not in a loud way, just absent in the background, like watching far away. Ruth in the land of Moab, holding what felt true, standing in a full life with no idea what I'd lose. The air changed without warning, no signal in the sky, just something breaking open, and I don't know why. Voices start to tremble, feet running through the room, but I feel frozen in place, like I already knew. They say his name in panic, but it doesn't sound the same, like life is slipping from it, like fire losing flame. I fall beside his body, calling back to me, but silence answers louder than anything I plead. This can't be how it ends now, this can't be where we part. I feel something tearing straight through my heart. I wasn't ready for this, still had years to live, promises unfinished, so much left to give. His hand is growing colder inside my desperate hold. The future we imagine is suddenly erased and gone. Naomi cries behind me, but I can't turn around. My whole world is collapsing into this single sound. I didn't just lose someone, I lost who I would be. The life I thought was certain is no longer in front of me. God, were you even watching when he slipped away from me? Or was I always meant to lose everything? The house is filled with sorrow, but mine is screaming loud. Even in the middle of my need, I feel completely alone now. Everything feels empty, nothing feels the same. Death didn't just take him, it took my name. The road out of Moab feels heavier each step, like every memory I carry is something I can't forget. I hear his voice in echoes in places we once stood. Every step away from here feels less like something good. This land still holds my story, the life I used to know. If I keep walking forward, there's nothing left to go. Naomi walks beside me, but silence fills the space. Two shattered lives still moving, with no clear place of grace. Or pause starts to weaken, I see it in her eyes. Love is not always enough to survive this kind of goodbye. Naomi turns and tells us, go back, rebuild your lives. But how do I rebuild now if everything inside me because I am strong, but because staying behind would feel even more wrong. This road is taking everything, but I won't run away. If I must lose what's left of me, then I choose this pain. Moab fades behind me, but it won't leave my chest. Every step into tomorrow feels like losing what was left. I see the life I live there like shadows in my mind, a home I can't return to, no matter how I try. My mother's voice still calls me, the language of my past. Everything that formed me is slipping as I pass. If I turn around right now, I could still belong, but something deep inside me knows that place is gone. God, why does this feel empty? If this is faith I choose, why does following you now feel like I only lose? Naomi walks ahead of me, but I can barely stand. I said that I would follow, but I don't understand. I thought that love was enough to carry me this far, but love feels like a breaking, not healing where we are. I have no guarantee now, no future I can see, just a path of uncertainty. And what's left of me, still I keep on walking through fear I cannot name. If this is where you're leading, then meet me in this Let Moab fall behind me, let everything collapse. If I must lose my whole life, don't let this be for nothing, God. I won't turn back in fear now, even when hope is thin. If you are still writing, then write me in. Bethlehem rises before us, but it doesn't feel like home. The gates I heard in stories now feel like skin and bone. Voices start to gather, whispers fill the air. Is this really Naomi? I feel their staring glare. Naomi doesn't answer, at least not like before. Her name falls to the ground now, like it's not hers anymore. Don't call me by that name now, pleasant doesn't remain. Call me mirror instead, because God has filled me with pain. Her words cut through the silence, sharper than any blade. A woman once full of laughter, now completely rearranged. I stand just slightly behind her, a stranger in their land, a Moabite, in the open, no place where I can stand. Their eyes pass over my story, like I don't belong to grace, as if my past in Moab is written on my face. Fields stretch in the distance, but they don't feel like provision, just a place for the broken to survive their condition. Naomi walks like she's empty, like nothing's left inside. Bethlehem feels like judgment, not a place to hide. God, if you brought us here now, why does it feel like loss? Why does your promise echo through the weight of this cross? I don't understand this story, I don't see any plan, just two shattered women trying to somehow stand. But even in this tension, in the dryness of this land, there's a quiet, fragile stirring I still don't understand. Morning breaks too early, before I'm ready to feel the weight of empty stomachs and what is left to heal. Bethlehem wakes around me, but I don't feel seen, just another shadow moving through fields of choujou green. I walk behind the harvest, where fragments fall like grace. What others leave behind them becomes my daily chase. My hands learn silent labor, my back begins to bend. Survival has a rhythm that doesn't ever end. The sun burns through my questions, no answer in the sky, only sweat upon my skin and prayers I don't know why. Men pass without noticing too much. Some eyes carry judgment, some carry a careless touch. I keep my head down low now, dust mixing with my tears. Dignity feels fragile, and unfamiliar fears. Naomi waits in silence at the edge of all I do. Every grain I gather is love I bring back to you. Shifts so gently, I feel it in the air. A pause inside the harvest, like someone standing there. Not all eyes feel like danger, not every step is the same. Something is slowly changing, but I can't name the name. This field feels different, I notice with one breath. Same dust upon my footsteps, but lighter than the rest. The wind moves through the barley like it knows my name. Something in this moment doesn't feel the same. I'm still behind the reapers, still gathering what remains, still living from the leftovers, still carrying my pain. But there's a pause around me, a silence that is kind, not empty like before was, but harder, close, alive. A voice breaks through the distance, strong but filled with peace. Who is that there behind them? And all the movement stills. I feel their eyes upon me. My heart begins to race. A Moabite in the open, with nowhere left to hide my face. The vow I chose to stand. Why would someone notice? Why would someone care? I came here just to survive, not to be seen out here. And kindness moves toward me, unexpected, undeserved. Not something I was hoping, not something I this pain? Could mercy grow in broken ground like harvest after rain? I don't yet see the future, I don't yet understand, but something in this moment feels like a hidden hand. You spoke and I felt seen, not just a passing glance, not just a foreign shadow lost in circumstance. Your words were soft but certain, they reached where I was weak. Kindness found the places I was too afraid to speak. You told me I could stay here, not wander field to field, like I was worth protecting, like I didn't have to yield. I've lived beneath survival, where mercy feels too far, but something in your presence is gentler than the dark. My story, Naomi lost my choice. The road I walked in silence, the cost behind my voice. And still you didn't turn me, still you drew me near. Grace I don't know how to hold, but I can feel it here. You told me, come and eat. I never thought a place like this would open up for me. Bread placed in my hands now, more than I have known. Not just food before me, but a kindness I've been shown. My heart begins to question what I don't understand. Why would favor find me in a Chujo land? God, is this your whisper after all the silence long? A quiet form of mercy that's been here all along. Just for fragments, for scraps that others leave, but now I'm being invited to sit, to stay, to receive. Something starts to open, something starts to heal, not loud or overwhelming, but something I can feel. Naomi speaks in whispers, a plan I didn't expect. Hope wrapped inside a risk now, a path I can't protect. Go when the night is covered, the noise of every man Wait until he is resting, then do what you must then. My heart begins to tremble. This road feels far too near. I've walked through loss and silence, but this awakens fear. The threshing floor is waiting, where shadows hide the ground, where barley falls in pieces and secrets aren't found. What if I'm rejected? What if I'm seen as shame? A Moabite too forward, with nothing but a name. But what if this is mercy, moving in disguise? What if God is present in what I fear tonight? I wash away the dust now, but not the weight inside. Every step toward that moment feels like nowhere to hide. The night feels thick around me, each sound a louder breath. Courage feels so fragile, so close to breaking next. I see him in the distance, resting after the day. A man who showed me kindness, now I must find a way. I kneel beside his covering, my hands begin to shake. This is more than just a moment, this is a step of faith. Spread your covering over me. The words fall soft but clear, not just a prose but whispered, but everything I fear. I lay down in silence, between hope and despair. If he turns away from me, I have nothing left to bear. God, are you here in darkness? Do you see what I've become? A woman risking everything, with nowhere left to run. The night holds its breath with me, waiting for his voice. And in this fragile moment, faith becomes my choice. I hear him start to wake. The night begins to shift. My heart is in his answer, my future in his lips. His voice is not rejection, it doesn't push me away. There's kindness in his breathing before he starts to say, Ruth, I see your courage. He speaks my name with care, not as one unworthy, but someone standing there. You didn't run to easier love, you didn't choose escape. You walked into the unknown and let your past reshape. Protected here, but hope begins to tremble Redemption stands before me, but not within my hand. A promise still uncertain, a line drawn in the sand. God, why bring me this far to leave it undefined? Why let me taste of mercy, then ask me still to wait in I've lived inside of waiting. I've known what silence means, but this feels even deeper, so close to being seen. If another claims my future, if this hope slips away, will I still say you are good at the breaking of the day? The sky begins to lighten, but answers haven't come. I carry both fear and promise into the rising sun. Morning breaks with tension, the city gate in view. Voices gather slowly, this will decide what's true. Boaz stands with elders, truth held in his voice, not hiding what is broken, but making it a choice. They speak of land and legacy, of names that must remain, of Elimelech and Naomi, of loss that still has pain. I stand just at a distance, my breath caught in my chest, my story in their hands now, my future being addressed. The other one steps forward, closer to the claim. Redemption feels so fragile, hanging on a name, hanging on a name. Oh, for a moment time is frozen, I cannot even pray. So close to restoration, but it could slip away. Then something shifts in silence, a turning I can't see. He steps back from the promise, he lets it go from me. The weight falls off the moment, like chains undone in light. What I thought I was losing is being held so tight. Boaz speaks it clearly, before them all to hear. I will redeem this story, she will not disappear. Ruth the Moabite is spoken, not hidden, not denied. My past stands in the open, but no longer where I hide. He chooses me in daylight, not only in the night, not out of obligation, but so Every broken fragment was shaping what would be. This wasn't how I planned it, not what I thought was ahead, but you were writing mercy through everything I dread. Naomi's eyes are changing. I see life return again. Hope I thought was buried is breathing now within. The house feels warm again, not hollow like before. Light rests upon the doorway where grief once lived and roared. Naomi holds the promise wrapped in fragile grace, a child in her trembling arms, tears upon her face. The same hands once empty now cradle something new. The God who once felt distant was quietly passing through. I watch her eyes awaken like dawn after a night. The woman once called Mara, now standing in the light. Sounds unfamiliar, but slowly it returns, like healing in the broken, like fire softly burns. Neighbors fill the silence with joy we thought was gone. They say a son is given, a new and rising song. Oh, God, they speak his name now, a future we couldn't see. Born from loss and mercy, from hidden sovereignty. Naomi doesn't look back the same way that she did. The weight that once defined her no longer has her grip. And I stand in this story, a foreigner no more, not because of where I came from, but what you opened the door. God, you were in the famine, you were in the grief, you were in the silence, even in disbelief. You never stopped the breaking, but you redeemed it all. You wrote a greater ending from what we thought would fall. Moab feels so distant, but not erased in vain. Every step of sorrow led me to this grace. This is not just survival, this is something reborn, a legacy of mercy from everything once torn. Naomi laughs again now, and heaven feels so near. The God who once was silent was always standing.